I'm Anil Kumar. Here is review on square roots and non-perfect squares. This particular test is for my student Kate, and I hope it is going to help many others. So here are 5 questions. Rather, there are 6 questions here, right? So let's call this as 3A and this as 3B, which you need to answer. These are all multiple choice questions. You can always pause the video, answer these questions, and then look into my choices. So let us go through these questions one by one first, and then I'm going to answer them. Question number 1. Which of the following is not a perfect square? So is not a perfect square. So that is the first question for you. Perfect squares means if I do a square root of, let's say, 16, I get 4, right? So 16 is a perfect square. But if I want to do square root of 17, I get some decimal numbers. 17 is not a perfect square. Perfect? Okay. Question number 2. Which is closest to square root of 28? 4 options are given to you. Question 3A. Which is closest to 9? Question 3B. Between which pair of numbers is square root of 17? Question number 4. Estimate square root of 200. And question number 5 is arrange in ascending order. That means increasing order. So the smallest number comes first and it increases as you move from left to right, correct? So these are the questions for you. Now let us see how to answer them. Question number 1. Which of the following is not a perfect square? 1, 2, 9 and 49. Well, we know 1 square is 1. 2 is not a perfect square, right? Since 1 square is 1, but 2 square is 4. We do not have any number whose square is 4, and therefore that is our answer, whose square is 2, right? So in between 1 and 4, all the numbers are not perfect squares. Now this is 3 square, which is 9, and this is 7 square, which is 49. So all other numbers are perfect squares in this particular example, correct? So square root 2 is 1.414. So it's a good number to remember. Square root 2 is equal to 1.414. So it is not a perfect square. Question number 2. Which is closest to square root of 28? So when I say square root of 28, so square root of 28. So we know that 5 square is 25, right? So it has to be more than 5 square, which is 25, and less than 6 square, which is 36. Now 28 is closer to 5, right? It's just 3 units away. 5, 25, 26, 27, 28. So 5.3 is a good option. Do you see that? 5 square is 25, then 26, 27, 28, 3 decimal 0.3. So that is how you could actually estimate a number fairly well, which is not a perfect square, but you can estimate. So I hope you understood the method, right? So we are looking for a number whose square is around 28. 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36. So square root of 28 is in between. It is closer to 25. That means 5, 6, 7, 8.3. Do you get it? Okay. Which is closest to 9? Square root of 90, square root of 80, right? We want which is closest to 9 out of these. Which is closest? So easiest way is, because these are all square roots, we can do what is 9 square equals to. 9 square is 81. Therefore, square root of 81 is 9. That is exact. So the closest number to 81 in this case is B, which is square root of 80. So that becomes our answer. Is that clear to you, right? So I hope you are understanding how we are trying to find the correct answer from the given choices. 3B. Between which pair of numbers is square root 17, right? So this is very similar to question number 2. So between which two numbers is square root 17? So that means we have to look for numbers like we have what is 4 square equals to? Well, 4 square is equal to 16 and 5 square equals to 25. Let me write 25. So 17 is just more than 16. So I think the choice should be 4.1, right? So 4.1 is between 4 and 5. So we get option D as the right option. Do you get the idea, right? So you could estimate like this. So look for squares when we are talking about square roots. Question number 4. Estimate square root of 200. So 200 could be written as 2 times 100, right? So this is like times. So 100 square root is 10 times square root 2. Square root 2 is 1.414. So it is equals to 10 times 1.414, which is equals to 14.1. So the answer is 14. So that is closest to square root of 200. Perfect. Not 20. 20 square is 400. See, if I do 20 times 20, what do I get? I get 400, not 200. Perfect. So that is how you need to think, right? Okay. Now, 14 square is how much? 14 square is 196, which is very close to 200. Do you see that? So it's a good idea to actually remember squares of a number for up to 20, right? That'll be a good idea. Question number 5 here is arrange in ascending order. That means increasing order. We have 3 square, 6.5 and square root of 60. Let this be your question. It kind of summarizes of all what we have learned in this particular chapter. So I hope that should help. So I'll wait for another second so that you get your time to arrange these numbers. Well, of course, the way is, what is 3 square equals to? Let's write down. 3 square is equal to 9. Correct. 6.5 is already given to us. Okay. Ascending means 6.5 is smaller than 9. And square root of 60 should be what? Well, less than 8. 8 square is 64. So it could be around 7 point, let's say 7. Okay. So that is what we could estimate. Now, if I have to arrange in ascending order, the lowest is 6.5. So what I get here is lowest is 6.5 and then square root of 60 and then 3 square. So I get B as my option. Perfect. I hope that makes sense. Now, these 5 or 6 questions are one of the best questions on non-perfect squares. So I've really compiled them for you to understand the whole topic. I hope that helps. I'll appreciate if you could provide a feedback on this. And if you have questions related to this topic, square roots, non-perfect squares, or even Pythagorean theorem, feel free to post them. Thanks a lot and all the best.